I've heard that life is what you make it. I say make room to grow. I'm your host, LaWanda Dockery, and this is the Make Room to Grow podcast. It all started with a dream about growing food, and who would ever imagine that growing food would lead to me learning about personal growth and development? Well, it did, and I want to bring you along for this beautiful ride. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Grow Nation. I hope this finds you well and looking forward to getting your hands dirty in the garden this weekend. So I've been working on a new project. Not new for those of you who are seasoned gardeners. You guys know I'm a newbie still. I will be working on saving seeds, particularly the seeds of our okra pods. Just to give a timeline, we started our okra seeds back in April on the 1st. I did a couple also on March 14th, just maybe one. And so altogether we had between 6 and 8 seeds that we dropped for the okra. And my husband now manages 2 okra plants in the raised bed, and I have 3 on my back porch in containers. Of the 3 plants that I have on my back porch in containers, I have about 7 okra that I want to harvest seeds from. Now, these can range anywhere from just a few inches long to, the tip of your finger to the base of your palm type length, some even longer. And just a caveat that I'm probably the most unscientific gardener you will ever meet. So I don't know the science behind it. I just know my observations. So they're pretty big. They're past the point that you will want to cook them. You have to cook them while they're small. Otherwise, they become fibrous and woody if you let them grow too long. And the thing about okra is you have to keep up with harvesting them. Once they grow and they start putting off blooms, it seems like in the beginning it takes forever to get okra. But once you start to get okra, you have to keep up with the harvesting. So every few days or, once or twice a week, you need to cut the okra so that new blooms come and new baby okra come. And so now I've put my plants out. I maxed them out. They have as much okra as they can on them, and I want to harvest the seeds. My goal is to get at least 200 seeds, but we'll see what happens because now I have to wait for them to dry out and wait until the seeds turn black, and then they're fully at the point where you can harvest them. And so I'll keep you updated on that. But one thing I noticed about the plants, much like humans, is that the plants want to give you a return, or they're made to give you a return. I don't want to make plants out to be animate objects, but they give a return. So you may plant. So I'm starting off with 6 to 8 seedlings that I planted, and I'm literally I don't know how many times my effort. I'll get hundreds of seeds for planting 8. What do you know in the natural, other things in the natural that you can do to literally do it 6 to 8 times and you get hundreds? Imagine you have $6 to $8 and you get hundreds of dollars in return. You invest $6 to $8, but you get hundreds in return. I don't really know of anywhere that you can do that that's probably legal or ethical, but let me know if you can figure that one out. What better investment than to get your hands dirty and plant something? It gives you such a reward over and over again. And plants are wired to do this. It's in the very mechanism of how it's made. What about us? What about us? I noticed that I tried to put some spinach plants out and they bolted. Which if there's a change in temperature, so I planted it and it wasn't so hot and then it became really hot. And then at that point, the spinach the little seedlings turn to flower and then it turns to seed. And so if the plants are made to give seed because it knows to keep reproducing, what are we doing? How are we moving our effort toward reproducing what's in us? What if you did 6 to 8 things that God told you to do? What if he he has you to sow 6 to 8 things, and there's hundreds of things that happen as a reward for those 6 to 8 things that you did. What if you spread the gospel to 6 to 8 people, and those 6 to 8 people are impacted and hundreds of souls come in? My God, what a harvest. Maybe you want to start a business, and maybe you do 6 to 8 things that you are sowing in faith. And then as a reaction, hundreds of things happen. So I want you to think of multiplicity and how we can follow the pattern that God's already laid out for us. Well, guys, it sounds like we've got work to do, because I am not going to let the okra outdo me, okay? Until next time, I want you to be intentional about those areas in your life where you are going to make room to grow.